first day of our collaborative week with Gef The Mongoose, talking about positive things that have happened this year and looking ahead to 2019. And we're starting off with one of the big issues of these past couple of years, really. We're talking about the environment today. And so I'm delighted to be joined by Rowan Henthorn. Lovely to see you, Ro. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, most people will remember you from being on the show talking about the incredible trip that you made earlier this year, the expedition. Just remind us, sort of in a nutshell, what you were doing.
Yeah, so that was a voyage with 14 women across the North Pacific through the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, collecting data and raising awareness.
And obviously some of the stuff you saw out there was quite shocking, you know, as we all know that we do have a big problem with plastics in the seas. But let's look at the positive side of it. So tell us what you learned and how you're going to put that sort of knowledge into practice in a positive way.
Yeah, I think when you're out there, you really get a sense of the problem, and it gives you the motivation to take all your energy back on land to find innovative solutions. So it's been really good for that.
So what sort of solutions do you think we can look at?
I think it needs to come from all areas of society. Obviously, there needs to be top-down action, but there also needs to be action from the people, and people really need to show that they care about the issue and that they're doing things as well.
And it does feel like there is a movement towards that, you know, there's been so much in the media at the moment, and obviously the likes of Attenborough and Blue Planet and everything, and the drowning in plastic programmes have made a really big impact on people and really sort of opened people's eyes. How good do you think we are on the Isle of Man at being aware of this and actually wanting to make change?
I think we're definitely growing. Off the back of this trip, I've had the opportunity to go into, lots of different schools around the island, and you'd be amazed by what kids know now. And they're actually, making change in their own schools by saying, we don't want this anymore, that we want to make these decisions to positively impact our environment. So, yeah, I think it's growing, and it can only grow. So it's a positive change for sure.
And you've been able now to put your knowledge to some really good use because you've taken on a new role recently. Tell us what your role is and what you're doing in there.
Yeah, so I'm working at Defo in government, and I'll be putting half my time towards plastics and coming up with a plan to reduce plastic within government and on the island, and then half my time in the biosphere, which is exciting because it's working with people and the environment, which is a fantastic opportunity.
And what does it mean for us then as an island? Because I think sometimes there's a bit of confusion about biosphere as to what it actually means for us. Why is it a good thing that we have this status?
I think it means that we are a special place for people and nature, and it gives us a platform to create positive change and develop ourselves sustainably. It's not accreditation saying you're perfect, it's saying you've got something really worth holding on to there and nurturing and creating something that you can actually be a site of excellence, on the global stage. It's a really good opportunity for us.
And that's the thing, it's global stage is a really key point there because it sort of puts us in the spotlight. So presumably it could sort of motivate us to maybe trying even a little bit harder and sort of making more of an effort because we do have that status now. Yeah,
exactly. And we're part of a network of reserves that are all over the world. So it's such a fantastic opportunity to share experience and knowledge and, what we're doing well and what other places are doing well. And I think that's key to moving forward in the future. We've got to connect and share our knowledge.
So what then would be your hopes for 2019? If there are a few things that you could say, look what we've achieved, this is great, what would they be?
I would love us to see making more strides towards reducing our plastic on the island, which is obviously something that I'm very much involved in. I'd like to see people connecting more with their environment. When you get outside and you enjoy the environment, it's better for you, it's better for everything. So I'd love to see people kind of taking a bit more time to get outside and enjoying our beautiful island.
And there are so many little things that we can all do at home, and thinking about our shop and thinking about even sort of containers, isn't there? Just tell us some little changes that we can make individually.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of buy a reusable water bottle and, have our amazing Manx water. Take a bag to the supermarket, and everyone kind of thinks, well, these are only very small things, but actually if everybody does them, it makes a huge impact. I've heard actually that the Chinese import Erin are now allowing you to take their own containers, so you can take and refill your containers. Same with the chip shop, actually, I've done that before. And it's actually making those small changes to your lifestyle that are really in the end going to make a huge effect if we all do them.
And that's the thing, retailers are making a big difference as well, aren't they? Because I've noticed there's quite a few now that you see vegware being used in retailers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fantastic because obviously it's using crops and not using oil-based plastics. So even if they are getting sent to the energy from waste, we're not actually burning fossil fuels by using those products. So they all have multifaceted benefits.
Fantastic. Now, looking back at the expedition that you went on, it has been in the news recently. They're looking for another group of girls now to go out. So tell us a little bit about what, if someone wants to apply for that, what sort of background they might need, and also what they can expect if they do apply.
I think you just need to have a passion for the environment and for the issue. You don't necessarily need a certain set of skills. Obviously, on our expedition, we had women from all different walks of life. We had filmmakers, teachers, scientists, and I think the founder, Emily Penn, actually said, have you guys worked out why you're all chosen yet? What was the common thread between you? And we couldn't really work it out. And she said, it's because when I interviewed you, you all couldn't stop smiling and you had that passion for it. So I think that's what you have to have, a passionate and a positive outlook. And, it's a great opportunity to kind of get involved in a huge project.
And another project you're very much involved with as well, Sustain Our Seas. Just tell us again a little bit about what your plans are for that.
Yeah, so I've been putting plans in for the new year. We're going to do cold water swims every other week on Sundays to get people out and embracing the cold weather and kind of enjoying that side of things. We have an art exhibition planned for the late spring, so more details to that to follow. And yeah, we have lots of exciting projects coming up that I hope to launch in the new year.
And if you follow your Instagram account as well, there's loads of information on there. You post some fabulous stuff on there, don't you?
Yeah, just trying to get people inspired, and kind of, it's nice to show them the creatures that we have in Manx waters and what people can do to make their lives a little bit more sustainable. So yeah, it's a really fun project to do.
Because some of the creatures, I have to say, some of the photos you've been posting, I had no idea we had such kind of wacky looking, almost comic book creatures over here in our seas. There's fascinating things, isn't there?
Yeah, that little hermit crab with the anemone that grew around it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. And you kind of look at them, they almost look alien, but they're actually just out there in the waters in front of us. So.
And then it makes you appreciate, doesn't it, that idea that these are the creatures that are affected by what we do on a daily basis. And so it makes you sort of almost want to care for them more by looking at them in that respect, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to look out at the sea and imagine what's there because it's just a big expanse of blue, but we have such rich shores and biodiversity, so it's worth celebrating.
And speaking of celebrating it, exciting news announced at the Beach Buddies 10K event earlier this year. I think it was in October, wasn't it? That there's going to be an environmental festival next year.
Yes, I can't wait. I was actually talking to Bill Dale about that on Friday, and he's got so many exciting plans for it. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting year for the environment, I think.